Hey, hey. How are
Hey,
you?
Judith.
How are you? Hey, hey. How
I
are
was
you both
looking for
today?
autumn poems. All I could find is winter poems, and now I'm looking back and trying to find those winter poems, and I can't.
I had very similar. So when I did like sutures for winter, I found things mentioning autumn and also February for some reason. I'm sure why February. Hello. Good to
Hello.
see you. Haven't seen you
Great
for
to see you as
ages. How
well.
are you?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. How are you and where have you been? Yeah.
Well, we've been here.
In this room.
More exciting. It's a bit more work.
Your hair's looking awesome, Michael. Love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Just
I'm trying to do the same.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, you get curls as well. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know where they came from. Some days it kind of does that. It kind of goes up at the side.
Yeah.
There's a similar stage of length as well.
Yeah.
Did you also stop when lockdown started and you never actually went?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I was overdue by about a month before lockdown even started, and then I just let it grow, as Elsa says. Yeah.
It looks good.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, like yours is even wavier than mine, which is nice. Like
Yeah. Thanks.
Remember, like 2 months ago, Michael, I was like, I have a poem about Manchester and puddles, and I was trying to find it. I found it. It's no longer relevant.
Oh, keep speaking on in the after chat. I'd love to hear it.
Puddles are kind of bad weather related.
yeah, you get more puddles in winter.
Yeah, totally.
How's everyone?
Very good, thank you. Just watched Strictly, which is fantastic.
Oh, of course.
Any more Strictly fans in the house?
I am definitely a Strictly fan, but have no TV license, so can't
We've
watch
said this
it.
before. Yes, yes.
I see.
Well, without giving any spoiler, well, it is actually a bit of a spoiler. But nah, screw it. Prince Harry came on. It's like, oh my god, it's Prince Harry! Ah, that was cool.
Did he dance?
He didn't know, sadly. No. So the story here is JJ, the guy who used to work in, served in the Marines, I think. Harry was on the same team as JJ. I don't know what the terms are, but yeah, same sort of team army.
Team Britain.
Team Britain, yes. So anyway, yeah, Harry came on via just like a Zoom thing. It's like, oh my god, it's Prince Harry! And then we watched kind of JJ and Harry just have like this, just chat like two guys in a pub would chat really because they properly served together, so they knew each other, which is quite sweet. And what's her name? The professional dancer's like the whole time because she's just, oh my god, it's Prince Harry! She's just like overwhelmed with it. It's really cute.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've only ever watched season 1 of the Bulgarian version of Strictly. So the music is the same, but it's also been maybe 15 years since I watched it. So yeah, I don't remember exactly how it goes and what the format is.
Yeah. So yeah, this year they've introduced a lot of CGI overlays, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of really. But it's the same format as before. Say professional dancer teamed with celebrity who's allegedly not danced before, but a few of them definitely have danced before because they're really good.
Yeah.
Did they have live audience?
Yes, they usually do, but again this year it's kind of a bit toned down. So they have got a very small audience, but it is a live audience kind of up in the balcony, quite spaced out. Not as in spaced out, but physically spaced out.
They still do it was a Blackpool.
There usually is one in Blackpool. You're right. I think that's usually about week 7 or something's Blackpool, but this time it's purely in London because it's a condensed show, and they're just trying to, I guess, limit as many variables as they can.
So do they normally go to different places?
Well, it tends to be out of Liverpool, but then just as Michael was saying, for 1 week they go to Blackpool for like a special because Blackpool's the home of ballroom really. So it's always nice to go back there. And go on because the dance floor is just beautiful. If you've ever been to Blackpool Tower Ballroom and you've got any interest in ballroom at all, it's just the world's nicest ballroom. It's just amazing, properly sprung floor, and it's just amazing. So, you know when you go to a really old theatre and they've got kind of gilt work and gold all around. Well, if you imagine that, but 3 layers high and just like almost not quite Sistine Chapel, but it's a fantastic ceiling as well. It's really impressive. So if ever you're down near there, it's worth having a look. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, if it's available.
Yeah, it's a long way
have
to
you
go from
done
Scotland.
any? I was wondering, have you done any ballroom dancing yourself?
Yes, back in the day, I used to. So at university, I was on the ballroom dancing kind of squad team, whatever. And then when I moved to Manchester, I found ballroom dancing here as well. So I did that for a few years here, which is fun. There's quite a few old people though, lots of old people.
Yeah.
But then I discovered Lindy and salsa and blues and all that, and that's kind of all the young people were. So I just kind of jumped on that ship.
It's strange though, because I think that ballroom dancing is probably physically more intense than any of the other ones.
The hold's very intense because like holding that for like 3 minutes. It's
yeah. Quite
You ever go back to the ballroom?
Probably in later life, I reckon, when my knees give out. And yeah.
Oh no! Got any competitions?
I haven't done any competitions, no, other than inter-university ones. So I was at Lancaster University. So every year they had a War of the Roses between Lancaster and York University, that was quite fun.
It reminds me, I've been to Lancaster University only once for a conference many years ago. It was a really nice area, although I think as far as I remember, it was really far from the actual city.
Yes, very much so, yeah.
That was the challenge of having to get between places, but it was really nice and green.
Yeah, it was, yeah. How many years ago was that, do you think?
2016.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Because I was there kind of about year 2000-ish, and since then it's literally doubled in size. So what used to be the last college is now at the halfway college.
Oh wow!
So it's still pretty, but I remember when I was there were just fields all around with just like wild bunny rabbits just running around. It was so sweet. But apparently they've built all over those fields now, which is a bit sad. Don't know where the bunnies have gone. Maybe a little bunny farm.
I miss the bunnies around Arthur's Seat as well here in Edinburgh. There used to be so many. Now they're gone again mysteriously. It's a shame.
Yeah.
More people.
Hey, Sadaf.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Andrada.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
How are you, Sadaf?
I'm good. What about you?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. How's your weekend going?
It's good. It's good, really. Yeah, this time I'm fine completely.
Oh, fab. How are you, Andrada?
Sorry, what did you say?
Just asking Andrada how she is. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So what's been the highlight of your week, Sadaf? Other than this point right now, which clearly is the highlight. But other than this highlight, what are the other highlights? Oh, can't hear you.
Oh.
That's it. You're back. Maria and Michael, what have you been up to this last week? Or before, really, because I haven't seen you for ages.
Yeah, parents' evening this week, which was fun.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I think I had to do it all by mobile.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Because of COVID restrictions. So it was very odd not being able to see the parents' faces when you're telling them stuff.
Oh, okay. Did they not? Well, clearly they didn't do Zoom or anything. Or was there a reason why they didn't do that? Or?
Well, essentially, the reason was that they didn't get the Zoom thing running on time.
Okay.
And lots of lots of my fellow teachers are a bit Luddite.
What is that?
Anti-technology.
Technologically challenged.
Yes. But sort of want to throw the technology out the window. And so they kind of pushed back against the video thing as well. So we ended up doing a phone call.
Yeah, okay.
Which was all right, but you judging tone and
it's tricky, isn't it?
When you get a kid, when you're talking about a kid, and you're saying that they're not on track for their age or stuff like that. Like, and you can know how to be gentle, or like, if it's new information for the parents, or like all these things, they'll kind of lean in. But like, if it's just you're on a speakerphone and you don't even know who's listening.
Oh wow, okay.
So you're just sort of speaking through your script, and then you hear this kind of frightened voice after like 5 minutes. So.
Wow, okay.
Anyway, so it's been a long week.
Okay.
But it's done now.
Yeah.
And
did you know any of the parents before, or was it kind of new? Was that the first interaction you'd had with them?
Yeah, this is the first.
Wow, okay, so that's tricky anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm kind of new to the school as well. So.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a kind of nice sclerotic school. So like
a homoerotic school, did you say?
Homoerotic, yeah, I fit in perfectly. It's sclerotic, like the
sclerotic. Okay.
Management's kind of all over the place and have often quite fights. Well, not fights, but like just power struggles and like they kick tasks between each other.
Okay.
The library's an absolute mess because nobody takes responsibility for that kind of thing going on. But it's very middle class school, so the kids are very easy to deal with. But the parents that become tricky as well. Anyway, so that's been my week.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it for you, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, thanks. What have I been up to? So since I last spoke to you, I've been made a selection of cakes, which went down very well. They were good.
Ooh.
Met up with friends for walks and things. So that's been nice, actually. Just a different park each week. But with the recent restrictions, we've had to just go down to one person, which it was odd, but it was really sweet, actually, because I got to know this person like a lot better than I do usually. Because usually it's just kind of a happy chat. But then there's just one-on-one, you can go a bit deeper. So that was quite sweet.
Yeah. I completely forgot that in England it's all much more restricted now.
Yeah. How are things up in Scotland? What's going on up there?
Not much.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to see people?
Outside.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes, outside in this lovely wind and rain.
Oh dear.
It's very on topic, on theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really follow the news very much, so I don't know how bad it is and all of these things. I just know where I can be, and that's all. And right now I'm knitting a basket. So if I'm looking down, I'm kind of also listening.
Yeah, hold it up again. Let's have a look.
It's made of rope.
Wow, that's really cool. I like that.
I'm trying to crochet it, but unfortunately, the higher I go, the more inside it goes. So I'm trying to fight that. So sometimes I have to unravel it and start again.
Okay.
So I'm still very new at this.
Yeah. So where did the inspiration for that come from?
I needed a basket, and they're actually surprisingly expensive, so I decided to do it myself. I don't think it's less expensive doing it myself, and it's probably poorer quality, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's good that. Yeah.
It's way more
how long is that taking
satisfying
you?
when you can make something yourself.
Yeah, I know. It's like a boost of confidence.
Oh.
Self-sufficiency in the face of apocalypse and that sort of thing.
Oh. So how long have you been going on that so far?
So this one I started this week, but I've been trying to crochet for a couple of months now. So I have a bit of practice with like the whole thing.
Yeah, cool. Have you got any other things you can show us? Completed works?
My first attempt at a cardigan, I finished it Well, it's not finished actually. I finished it this week, but then I discovered it's both too small and too big at the same time. So now I'm trying to fix it so it's not finished. So yeah, I think.
Or you could just eat more or less depending on which bit of your body needs to.
Yeah, exactly. I think I need to maybe do some kind of surgery to remove a bone from my shoulders so I can become narrow at my shoulders. And I
Totally
definitely need a much bigger belly, so I'm gonna fill it up eventually.
No.
Yeah.
Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, Ainsley.
Hey, I'm concerned about whatever surgery you're considering right now.
Oh, Michael's going to model and demonstrate.
Oh, fantastic.
One.
It's cardigan surgery.
Exactly, like a year.
Oh, lots of.
Michael also needs to
I love the ribbing.
Shoulder.
Mm-hmm. That's what do you call it?
That's very good.
Cardigan. Plenty of room in the sleeves.
Yeah, I don't know what
like
it's
it.
called. Like a bell sleeve, maybe.
Did you knit this, Maria?
Yeah.
Nice. Didn't you just start like since the lockdown?
Yeah. Well, this is crochet, which is much easier than knitting. So, and much faster. I think.
Fair. It does take up more space. Crochet.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the trick.
I feel like different people think knitting is more easy than. I feel like there's a different way of thinking about knitting versus crochet, and some people find one easier, and some people find the other easier.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
On the crochet is easier team.
Yeah.
Do you know what the big difference is? Because I've only ever really tried crocheting, and I mean, I've seen the difference of knitting needles, but I don't really know like what the different way of thinking about it would be, I suppose.
Crocheting, you kind of get to go in a row, like you're always in one place with crochet, and with knitting you're going like through an entire piece of fabric in a, well, you're still going like needle by needle. The way you have to think about the fabric is more like row by row by row.
Okay.
In a way. And that's not entirely accurate, but it's a good way of thinking about the differences.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like if I've made a mistake in knitting, you can like you can rip a section of knitting out and go all the way down into it, like 4 or 5 rows down to fix a problem. Whereas crochet, I've never figured out a way of like going back a long distance and solving a problem. So I find knitting a lot easier than crochet. For crochet, I'm just like, if I made a mistake, I need to go back all the way, and it's a pain in the ass. Or just keep the mistake.
Yeah.
It depends how big the mistake is. And I find with me, for some reason, I find crochet mistakes multiply in a way that knitting mistakes don't. Like,
I'm yet to learn.
They like crochet, I find a little bit more fractal. So when you make a mistake, it kind of just like keeps getting worse for me. In a way that like knitting, I'm like, oh yeah, I missed a stitch down there. Fine, I can like fake my way through it. And I say that as a person who learned to crochet first. Like it's not like I'm new to crochet and have knit for years. I learned crocheting as a kid and then took up knitting in university. I was like, oh, this is easier. So,
wow.
But I think it's just like different approaches.
Yeah.
So I think that in a couple of weeks we're going to have a poetry session about craft with Ainsley.
Because I'm that kind of dork. I don't.
We have to knit our own poems.
I've got a poem about work and a poem about clay and a poem about, I don't know, I'm still looking, but yeah, if it's about craft or work or practice, bring it.
Andrada, I think you're echoing.
Oh, well. I can hear myself twice.
Who would like to go first?
Do you have one to start us off with, Katie?
Do
you have one to start us off with?
Oh, help. Would you like a depressing one or a less
goodness
depressing
then.
one?
Team Wholesome here.
Most of mine are depressing.
Oh, goodness. Well, I've got some happy ones if you want to start off on a happy one. But I don't want to.
I have a Liz Berry one, but I don't know if I'm allowed to read Liz Berry or if only Bina is allowed to.
Bina's not here, so you're allowed.
Is that the rule?
Here's a happy one.
Well, if there was a rule, I imagine it can't apply if Mina's not here.
Fair enough.
That would just be unfair.
This one's called A Winter Ride, and it's by Amy Lowell. Who shall declare the joy of the running? Who shall tell of the pleasures of flight, springing and spurning the tufts of wild heather, sweeping wide-winged through the blue dome of light? Everything mortal has moments immortal, swift and God-gifted, immeasurably bright. So with the stretch of the white road before me, shining snow crystals rainbowed by the sun, fields that are white, stained with long, cool blue shadows, strong with the strength of my horse as we run. Joy in the touch of the wind and the sunlight. Joy with the vigorous earth I am one.
Yay! That's a lovely start.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Who wants to follow that?
I have a snow one. That
I like
helps on the snow theme. Okay. This is called The Snow Fairy by Claude McKay. Throughout the afternoon, I watched them there. Snow fairies falling from the sky, whirling fantastic in the misty air, contending fierce for space supremacy. And they flew down in mightier force at night, as though in heaven there was revolt and riot. And they, frail things, had taken panic flight, down to the calm earth, seeking peace and quiet. I went to bed and rose early at dawn, to see them huddled together in a heap, each merged together upon the lawn, worn out by the sharp struggle, fast asleep. The sun shone brightly on them, half the day. By night they stealthily had stolen away. And suddenly my thoughts then turned to you, who came to me upon a winter's night, when the snow sprites around my attic window flew, your hair dishevelled, eyes aglow with light. My heart was like the weather when you came. The wanton winds were blowing loud and long. But you, with joy and passion all aflame, you danced and sang a lilting summer song. I made room for you in my little bed, took the covers from the closet fresh and warm, a downful pillow for your scented head, and lay down with you resting in my arm. You went with dawn, you left me ere the day, the lonely actor of a dreamy play.
Oh. Oh.
That was really
I
sweet.
thank you. I like that one.
Unless you're being very noisy, I don't really expect everyone to be muting and unmuting all the time. I don't bother because it's annoying.
I think it's nice because you can actually talk more easily. It becomes a little bit more natural if no one's muting.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
If there is noise in the background. I know I'm going to start yelling during the next poem, so, you know.
Have you brought any poems
Just for fun.
for Ainsley? Just so I know.
It's winter today, right? I was just like, I'm going to join in. I'm free. I've got a couple Margaret Atwood ones about winter. I could find them.
That would be lovely. Just let us know when you want to slot them in.
I also have a couple, Katie, that I didn't tell you about.
You know how draconian I am. Like, you have to be part of the schedule. I'm going to read one that Frankie has asked me to read.
Ooh.
Because she can't be here because she's on a date.
Terrible.
I know.
Not allowed.
Called The Migrant. Hobo autumn hoists his bindle, hitchhikes out to another year, a warmer clime, hoping to catch up with spring. Then winter arrives, demanding entrance, banging at the door with cold fists as if he lives here, doffing his hat to show where he keeps long nights. When he opens his suitcase in the dank hallway, darkness spills onto the floor. A few icy stars roll out across the rug. He hands out freezing rain as if it were candy, and from his frozen pockets he draws forth a penny whistle for the children, upon which he blows a chill wind. We give the old miser the extra room, the one with the leaky window where the draft comes in, counting the days until he moves on.
could do
Maria,
Margaret
do you want
Atwood.
to go next? Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, this one's called February. Winter. Time to eat fat and watch hockey. In the pewter mornings, the cat, a black fur sausage with yellow Houdini eyes, jumps up on the bed and tries to get into my head. This is his way of telling whether or not I'm dead. If I'm not, he wants to be scratched. If I am, he'll think of something. He settles on my chest, breathing his breath of burped up meat and musty sofas, purring like a washboard. Some other tomcat, not yet a capon, has been spraying our front door, declaring war. It's all about sex and territory, which are what will finish us off in the long run. Some cat owners around here should snip a few testicles. If we are wise hominids and sensible, we'd do that too, or eat our young like sharks. But it's love that does us in, over and over, and again. He shoots, he scores in a famine, crouches in the bed sheets, ambushing and pulsing eider down, and the wind chill factor hits 30 below, and pollution pours out of our chimney to keep us warm. February, month of despair, with a skewered heart in its center. I think dire thoughts, and I lust for French fries with a splash of vinegar. Cat, enough of your greedy whining and your small pink asshole. Off of my face. You're the life principle, more or less, so get going on a little optimism around here. Get rid of death, celebrate increase, make it be spring.
Perfect mood.
Do you want 2 in a row or do you want later?
What's the feeling?
Absolutely.
I'm ready for another one.
Yeah. This one's called Carrying Food Home in Winter. I walk uphill through the snow, hard going, brown paper bag of groceries balanced low on my stomach, heavy, my arms stretching to turn all tendon. Do we need this paper bag, my love? Do we need this bulk of peels and cores? Do we need these bottles, these roots and bits of cardboard to keep us floating as on a raft above the snow I sink through? The skin creates islands of warmth in winter. In summer, islands of coolness. The mouth performs a similar deception. I say I will transform this egg into a muscle, this bottle into an act of love. This onion will become emotion, this grapefruit will become a thought. I don't think I really knew she did poetry until relatively recently, but I love her work. Like, I had read her novels like in high school, but it was only maybe in the past decade that I was like, oh wait, she's a poet too. Intriguing.
I have a similar thing actually, because today I discovered that Emily Bronte also wrote poetry, which I didn't know before, which probably is known to everyone here.
I only discovered it a few weeks ago, don't worry.
Grown up with her, I don't know. I have a poem by her. I don't know if you would like me to read it now.
Yes, please.
It's called Spellbound. And when I read it, I thought it kind of represents me staying in Scotland when everyone I talk to says, but the weather is so bad, why are you staying? So I guess I could
move to Scotland for the weather.
That's one reason, but then I can also read this poem and answer. So it will be: the night is darkening round me, the wild winds coldly blow, but a tyrant spell has bound me, and I cannot go. The giant trees are bending, their bare boughs weighted with snow, and the storm is fast descending, and yet I cannot go. Clouds beyond clouds above me, wastes beyond wastes below, but nothing drear can move me. I will not, cannot go. So
It's really sweet. I love that one.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I have another one that also mentions snow. If we want to get back to things that say snow. This is called Lee Atwater Blowing in Snow by Kevin Babstock. Strangely, things sharpen visually, gather mass into themselves, hugging color as though their own physical limits were arms. I haven't expressed it well, but spruce in this park shoots skyward, yet settle into a loaded, overripe, green set off against the new white. Puffed at the second tree, each tree's choir. Fire hydrant in its bonnet and fox stole only glows more vibrant gold and sits still. Every humped thing plotting the graph of itself. Silent accumulation of secondary facts, all pertaining to a horizontal axis. The cast, metal, bolted. Public bench, for instance, looks more comfy now, with padded slats, though no one sits there. The waist-high commemorative plaques, just another memory beneath a growing drift. It looks like cake. What I like is the foreknowledge of gusts, blunt headwinds. Pick out the advanced edge of a gathering front before it arrives. Stings and shocks your face away like footage of a cloud of krill or shoal of silverfish. The white points stall midair, then alter course, shift, realign and gather speed, all synced to a system of signals invisible from this chair. Coleridge saw starlings flit and sweep, then climb and bank en masse and thought his mind resembled them, kept him from finishing great things he'd long ago begun. It wasn't the opium. Shadows bloom, stretch, cat paw across the blank. It eddies in behind as I push on and mends the clean glitter where I've punctured it.
Wow.
Thank you, Em.
Also, I will say, I
also
think it's
have
fitting
some-
that that's the first poem in the best Canadian poetry of 2010. Because I'm like, yeah, that's a very like Canadian snowy winter way to start.
I also have poems about snow.
Ooh.
You wrote them?
No, I translated them because
Oh, wow.
so these are the two about snow, and this is a slightly depressing winter landscape that also says snow once. I translated them because they were originally written by Romanian poets back in the day sometime.
Would you like to read
this
them to
little
us?
one? So this one is called Snow, and the poet is Tudor Arghezi. Snowflake, clear and pure, I'm waiting for you for your fall, like a petal of flowers planted in azure. The heavens congeal the winter's necklace. It's hard work for the sky to make your being white. But coming here to us with the stars and the moon, you always pass so soon and turn the clay to mud.
Nice.
Keep going.
Okay. Which one do you want? The sad one or a happy one?
Why don't you do the sad one, and then I'll do my sad one, and then you do the happy one.
Okay.
I have a short sad one as well if we want to have like a little short few sad poem blip before getting back to happy. I don't know how much other sad people have.
I'm not sure how to define poems as sad or happy, so.
Okay. This one is called Landscape, and the poet is George Bakovia. For people who are at the Halloween one, it's the same person that wrote the really weird poem about black. Trees in white, trees in black, empty in the deserted park. A scene of mourning, scene of death, with trees in white, trees in black. Regrets cry in the park again. With feathers white, feathers black, a bird with a bitter voice wanders in its ancient park of choice. With feathers white, feathers black. In the park, a haunting begins. And leaves white, leaves black, trees in white, trees in black, feathers white, feathers back, black. A scene of mourning, scene of death. It snows now and again.
Do you have a thing about black?
I really like how you translated it as well.
This is the one that I translated that I liked most in its translation. Like, I feel that the other ones weren't that great. Like, I could work on them a bit more.
Maria, do you know the original?
Oh no, I know several Bulgarian poems about snow and white, and I was actually thinking today when I was thinking about the theme how so many of the ones that I know are in Bulgarian, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I could translate one, but I guess I was just too lazy. So I think it's really great how you actually put in the work and you share some of those with us, because I think the ones that you hear, I don't know, I think just some that when I think of a theme, I usually come up with the examples in my native language. So it's harder sometimes to come up with examples in English.
Okay.
So I'm going to read a Neil Gaiman poem called What You Need to Be Warm. A baked potato of a winter's night to wrap your hands around or burn your mouth. A blanket knitted by your mother's cunning fingers or your grandmother's. A smile, a touch, trust as you walk in from the snow or return to it, the tips of your ears pricked pink and frozen. The tink, tink, tink of iron radiators waking in an old house, to surface from dreams in bed, burrowed beneath blankets and comforters. The change in state from cold to warm is all that matters, and you think, just one more minute snuggled here before you face the chill. Just one. Places we slept as children, they warm us in the memory. We travel to an inside from the outside, to the orange flames of the fireplace or the wood burning in the stove. Breath ice on the inside of windows to be scratched off with a fingernail, melted with a whole hand. Frost on the ground that stays in the shadows waiting for us. Wear a scarf, wear a coat, wear a sweater, wear socks, wear thick gloves. An infant as she sleeps between us. A tumble of dogs, a kindle of cats and kittens. Come inside, you're safe now. A kettle boiling at the stove. Your family or friends are there. They smile. Cocoa or chocolate, tea or coffee, soup or toddy, what you know you need. A heat exchange. They give it to you. You take the mug and start to thaw. While outside, for some of us, the journey began as we walked away from our grandparents' houses, away from the places we knew as children, changes of state and state and state, to stumble across a stony desert, or to brave the deep waters, while food and friends, home, a bed, even a blanket become just memories. Sometimes it only takes a stranger in a dark place to hold out a badly knitted scarf, to offer a kind word, to say, "We have the right to be here, to make us warm in the coldest season. You have the right to be here."
Was there a line in there, a kindle of cats?
A kindle of cats.
Is that an actual group noun? Oh.
A Kindle of Kittens.
Is it? Oh, okay. Oh, I never knew. Not a kindle of ebooks. Kindle of kittens.
I only learned from a Shane Koizan poem that actually like goes through a bunch of animal grouping names in it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, cute, 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 cute.
I didn't know he wrote poems as well.
They're not published anywhere.
Oh.
Like, there's one or two in some of his short story books.
Okay.
But there's no collected poems of Neil Gaiman. I have looked. There are 3 on his website, none of which are in any of the books I've read.
Mm-hmm.
That is really too bad. I'd enjoy it. Maybe we should all who are interested badger him on the internet and be like, "Hello, a friend of mine read us one of your poems and we really liked it. If you happen to put out a book, we would be very interested."
I think his life's hard enough at the moment.
Oh.
without
Yeah, that's fair.
being badgered on the internet.
Fair. I haven't been looking into what it's been like, but fair enough. Anyways, this is a very morbid one by Maggie Emmett. And I looked into this and it turns out that this one was about a thing that actually happened. And it's called Predicting Death in Winnipeg. In Winnipeg, they dig the winter graves in autumn, before the sun sleeps and the ground freezes. They guess the number of holes to dig. They respect the cold and the winter dead. Death prediction is a fine art in Winnipeg.
Scary.
My grandmother died in the dead of winter, and in Ontario, or at least in Toronto, there's a machine that heats the ground up so you can dig the graves. Like it's like this giant set of torches that like torches the ground. Wow. And they had to wait to bury her because that machine was broken, and they don't do that grave prediction thing in Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know if it's done at every cemetery or if that machine, like I'm sure if it exists, cemeteries here that are big enough would have it, but damn.
I think it's they used to predict the number of graves they needed for the winter, and now they have propane torches.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was strange to be like, huh. You can't bury a person because it's too cold.
Yeah, definitely. And I think in some cultures, and like depending on how religious Jewish people are, it's very much like you're supposed to dig it using a shovel, like hand and shovel the entire way through. Like you're not supposed to take any help from any shortcuts or anything like that, depending on the day of the week as well.
Yeah.
For like that degree of stuff. So yeah, it's interesting and morbid.
So did they have like Jewish people digging graves with shovels in the autumn? So it's all
one of the Jewish cemeteries actually hired people who weren't Jewish to dig the graves to get around it at one point, and it wouldn't surprise me if more cemeteries did things like that. But that's the one that most people I know have relatives buried in, so I'm not sure about the others. There's more than one though. I think there's 3 in the city. Anyways, anyone want to read something a little less deathy next?
I've got a really short one by Robert Frost, which isn't deathy.
Do all of Robert Frost's poems just because it's got frost in it.
I mean, we could. He is the ultimate winter poet just because of his name, no?
Sorry, I apologize.
I like it.
That's it.
That's exactly my humour. That's good.
Are you going to read Walking Through Woods on a Snowy Evening?
No.
Oh, good. I was going to read that one.
It is a good winter poem. This is the Dust of Snow. Were you going to do that one? No. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day that I rued.
So, yeah,
short and sweet.
I read that one earlier and thought, that's nice, but I think someone else might read that. So I have two that are, well, one's definitely about winter and birds, and another one is also about winter and birds. Do you want to go down a winter and birds avenue, or?
Part two.
I'm going to choose between these two, yeah.
Yeah, is that yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fab. Just let me find it. Okay, we'll go for the short one first, and then we'll go for the longer one after. It's called Choices by Tess Gallagher. I go to the mountainside of the house to cut saplings and clear a view to the snow on the mountain. But when I look up, saw in hand, I see a nest clutched in the uppermost branches. I don't cut that one. I don't cut the others either. Suddenly, in every tree, an unseen nest where a mountain would be. That's the first one. And then the second one, which is kind of to do with nature, is called A Winter Blue Jay by Sarah Teasdale. Crisply, the bright snow whispered, crunching beneath our feet behind us as we walked along the parkway. Our shadows danced, fantastic shapes in vivid blue. Across the lake, skaters flew to and fro with sharp turns, weaving a frail invisible net. In ecstasy, the earth drank the silver sunlight. In ecstasy, the skaters drank the wine of speed. In ecstasy, we laughed, drinking the wine of love. Had not the music of our joy sounded its highest note? But no, for suddenly, with lifted eyes, you said, "Oh, look, there, on the black bough of the maple." Fearless and gay as our love, a blue jay cocked his crest. Oh, who can tell the range of joy or set the bounds of beauty?
So wholesome.
Nice.
I have one more that I could read. It is one
about
of mine
birds?
before.
Is it about birds?
It is not about birds. So if there's another bird one, someone else should bird it up.
Andrade, is yours about birds?
It's about frost and snow. It doesn't. Oh, it's got some birds in it.
Let's go for some birds and then fewer birds.
Of a bird as well. There is a bird mention. You can go next. Sorry, what was that, Katie?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you did. My computer just like glitched your voice from earlier. Cool. Andrade, do you want to go next or should I?
Sure, I can go. So this one's called Frost Play, and it's by Tudor Arghezi. Who played last night? Brushed the trees with milk and painted with chalk every rose stalk? It may be that a hand threw around a woolen strand and pulled branches of spring plums through the fingers of some gloves. Vines between petunias thickened like rope. The hedge with all its wire, it's much thicker than required, and surrounds my place with a velvet fence. Linen dangles on telegraph cables. 8,000 pigeons sit back to back on a millet haystack because the Holy Ghost descended on the coast. White rabbits with thick furs huddled up around the walls. Earth, as if made of paper, sits under the felt blanket. On the house, a shawl relaxes. It fell with its million tassels. Deer in small or even big herds, antlers tangling in the orchards, try to climb up on the hill. To untangle, they must pull. It's no use. You see, they can't set themselves free. And in poplars ring, all shaky, bells, white and lacy.
Oh, that's lovely.
I really like. Cool. So this one, I might have read it when we did trees. It's kind of snowy and wintry. I really like this one, and it does mention birds more than I at first thought. It might come up more than once. It's called "The Critique of Pure Reason" by Ross Lackey. Is it that it is pure, that it is driven, that it is snow? Snow in the reeds where I stand, as subject, as simple subject, as identical subject in every state of my thought. Winter cups its hands into time and freezes it into a skim of ice. Time is partly opaque, its pack of crystals occluding knowledge of the we. They're at the bottom of the pond, beyond desire. This is neither algae nor ode. It is ice marked by the skate edge of time. I stand by my thoughts here at the edge of reason. There's open water out towards the middle of the slough where the water birds congregate. There I was a child in a photograph. I was the ancient of days. I was the man who didn't have a ticket, who waited outside, waiting to glimpse the performers, listened out from stage door to the waiting limousine. It happened in the theater of trees, hovering in shadow, the talus of snow. I had to wait to hear the whole song, because reason is shaped that way. It has that kind of beauty, categorical. Look at the graph, the ridge of the mountains make, and there you will see it. It is more true than accurate, and more accurate than true. The pond is in the shape of an O, and if you make an O in the moment before your solo, you're surprised that you know its entirety as it knows the entirety of itself. The song you can't get out of your head. But there's no song in the world of reason, just the call of a bird, just the breeze in the treetops. In the quiet, I can almost hear the reciprocity. I expected it all to be reasonable, but I stood there in the snow. We were reasonable beings, the pond and the imagination caught in the ice, the cattails in the wind of my breath, the necessity of ice and the contingency of reason, the tempered ice and the antin of me. The pages are opening into the fields and the trees are pure reason. There is the intelligence of spruce needles, the way they interlock and the way they enclose space and make it intimate, the way they brush the snow. And in the snow, at this moment, time is all I have to contemplate the sunlight's interrogation of shadow and the encroaching night's critique of sunlight. And that is how I know 2 + 2.
Oh.
Who was that?
Ross Lappy. Can type it in.
Can I go next?
Absolutely. I didn't realize you had one. Sorry.
It's okay. I have two. One of them is actually the song that I really love, but it's about winter and I translated.
Yeah.
I apologize if it's not really good. And there I have another one which I just wrote. It's so cute. So
Yay.
the first one, the winter. You're not here and I'm unconscious. You're not here and without you, I went crazy. All with myself, I'm talking about you. You're not here and I'm snowing on the wall. Again, my heart becomes airy without air. My situation is laughable for the people. It's winter. My hands are frozen. It's winter and it's snow and rain. It's winter and it's street. It's winter and too much sorrow. It's winter and I'm a madman. It is winter and my shoulders are shivering because of crying. A fireplace and the heater of this house. It's winter and the heart is broken. It's winter and tears are on the cheeks. You're not here and I lose my day. I walk, I miss my way. You're not here and this city is my prison. Estelle, your shawl is my shoulder's warmness. I do not want anyone to reduce my grief of you. I do not want anyone but you to understand me. You're not here, I'm breathing your ear of this life. Without you, I will give up. And
Oh, wow.
Can I read the second one as well?
Yes, please.
So this one is also called The Winter. Tonight, the wind is roaring, blowing everything out of its way. It isn't calm, sad and lost. Looks like it misses something. Tonight, my heart beats so fast. Perhaps it's beating and seeking for someone, just like the weather tonight. Tonight, I'm sitting by the window of my room, as always when it's windy. I dream of you, of our past, of our love, of our memories. Tonight, from the window of my room, I see trees moving wildly. Are they moving so fast because the weather is too windy, or because their heart beats for something, for someone? Or this is what I'm thinking. I feel so bad for them. They seem to want to reach their darlings, but can't. Why all true loves can reach each other and stay separated? Tonight, I remember of all the happy moments that we spent together, all those sweet talks, those sweet arguments, and our sweet hidden love. Tonight, I know there isn't anything wrong with the window. Neither the trees are trying to reach something. It's all my illusions, my hallucinations. This is my silly mind trying to come up with something, just to make everyone and everything its companion. Tonight, I know all of these. With are the announcers. They are welcoming the new season happily. Meanwhile, me sitting by my room's window, remembering the season we first met, the season of us, of our memories, of our first meeting. Thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That was really sweet.
Really wonderful poem. And you wrote this one, right? Did you write this one? Did you write it
This
yourself?
one? Yeah.
Wow.
I actually wrote this one. It is a bit romantic, as my friends read it. I am not that romantic person, but it just like came up to my mind. And when I was writing this one, I actually was sitting by the window, and the weather was too windy that night. It was last week, yeah. So, yeah.
That's wonderful.
You're so damp.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot I had my camera, my audio on.
You being invaded by a damp cat?
Yeah, she's been out in the rain apparently. She's got wet paws and a very damp tail. And she's gone now.
Does anyone else have any poems they would like to read?
I mean, I wasn't gonna read In the Deep Midwinter because it's like such a classic one and I haven't looked at it in a while, but go for it, Katie. I feel like I've read enough.
No, on you go.
It's more of a song. I'm going to save it for when we do holiday stuff, and then I'm going to pick out the parts of it that I like that aren't super religious.
Sounds good.
I'm going to attempt to read some Liz Berry. Bina and other people, I'm sorry.
Big hugs to Bina.
Big hugs to Bina, and also thank you, Katie, for reading it to us, even though Bina isn't here and it fits the theme.
Thank you, Katie.
The Burning. It was the hard winter she came, frozen larks plummeting through the gloam like falling stars, each pale in the yard a slattern's looking glass. Each dusk, the house cobwebbed by creeping frost, my husband slipped like a knife from an oyster, my sons nestled like dormice in their cots. I stood at my black window and oh, the cold, it pressed upon me like a lover, held its hands to my throat, my knees. She came first through the trees, a small glint among the poplars, hoarfrost dripping from the velvet nubs of their antlers, leaping fast to a shuddering pillar of flame, her pelvis a cradle of jeweled tinder, her ribs white kindling, a holy thing, such furious unblossoming and something profane. I pressed my eye to the glass, the cracking dark, saw her heart catch light, blackbirds flap frantic from the forks of trees, woke shivering, sweat between my breasts, my tongue in my teeth. Every night then she came. In the stolen hours between caring and dream, the children vanished, the drudging chaos of day put to sleep. I have no words to tell of the shapes she scorched, the frozen lock, the copper key, but that heat licked me raw as wild love, cracked the ice on my ribs and tossed in a flare. All my life I have been a good woman, compliant, neat, my children's snow boots polished, each snowflake of ash swept clean from my step. I've worn obedience like a uniform, the hoof of the iron cooling in my grate. Yet I riled in the witching hour, tongue glittering. My darling, I whispered to my own dry bones, for what do you burn? 3 moons she has been absent, though I wait at my window, the chill persisting, presaging snow, and my longing rises hopeless as the carp in the pool. I don't know where she is living, or if she lives at all, with women nursing in fevered sheets or scrubbing floors until their knuckles ignite. But by dark, when my sons sail the black cut of sleep, and frost lays its terrible lace upon the grass. When I'm alone with my fretting, with my dreams like black pearls in the clam of my mouth, I press my fists to that tenderest wound, my soul, and Christ, how I burn.
Katie, thank you.
Thank you.
I can almost feel in my mouth how it would sound in that accent, but I can't make it come out of my mouth in that way.
Oh.
And it makes me sad.
Oh.
I like how you read it in the Katie way.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Sometimes I heard a little bit of the accent coming through you as well. That's nice and cool. It was good. That was a lovely poem. Thank you very much.
Such a good poet.
Yeah.
Is that winter over? Shall I close official poetry time? Or would you like to read? No, you wouldn't. You're going to do that for festive times. In that case, I declare poetry time officially over, and I will read Michael his poem about puddles. Like, when was it that we were reading about puddles? Did we have a weather week?
We had a significant places week, and that's when I did the Manchester one. Don't think we've had a weather one yet, actually.
We do a springtime one?
No, it was definitely to do with weather, because I then read The Storm by Mary Oliver instead, because I couldn't find it.
I might have missed that one. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't weather. Maybe it was something else. I don't know. So this is a poem by Adrian Mitchell called "Watch Your Step, I'm Drenched." In Manchester, there are 1,000 puddles. Bus queue puddles poised on slanting paving stones, railway puddles slouching outside stations, cinema puddles in ambush at the exit, zebra crossing puddles in dips of the dark stripes. They lurk in the murk of the northwestern evening for the sake of that notorious joke, their only joke, to soak. Each the tights or trousers of the citizens, each splash and consequent curses echoed by 1,000 dark Mancunian puddle chuckles. In Manchester there lives the king of puddles, master of miniature muck lakes, the Shah of slosh, splendifero of splash, Prince Pasha and Pope of puddledom. Where, somewhere, the rain-headed ruler lies doggo incognito, disguised as an average accidental mini pool. He is as scared as any other emperor. For one night, all his soiled and soggy victims might storm his streets, assassination in their minds, 1,000 rolls of blotting paper in their hands, and drink his shadowed one-joke life away.
That was brilliant, Katie. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot the puddle that eats car keys. I almost lost my car keys in a puddle.
Oh.
I managed to fish them out though. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just raked my hand through it and just picked it up. I was like, yes, thank you. So glad that worked.
All the P alliterations reminded me of a poem that I'm going to pull out for Saucy Time. It's very Dr. Seussy, and it's about penises.
I'm excited.
If you want to hear it now, you can also hear it now just because it's fun to read, but I could also just save it because Saucy Time's oh man, it's really soon. So
it's soon, yeah.
You and Aussie.
When's Saucy Time?
Next Thursday. No, next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yes, Friday, yeah.
Is that the 27th? No, is that the 25th?
No, 2 weeks.
Oh no, it's Friday week, sorry, 27th.
It is 2 weeks ish.
Mm-hmm.
I should finish writing the poem I started writing last Saucy Time.
Ooh.
What's the topic?
It's about Saucy Time.
Oh, better.
Ooh.
I mean, you know, with my track record, it will not get finished.
Oh.
It might get finished while you're there.
But then I can't read it because Saucy Time is not a spontaneous.
Well, if you tell Frankie you've written it, but then secretly don't write it.
No, because
You'd be
she
fine.
needs to see everything beforehand.
Oh,
This
crap.
was like if you're reading anything for Frankie wants to see it ahead of time.
That's right. Yeah, she wants the full text, doesn't she? Yeah. She said even if you can't copy paste, she wants screenshots. Yep.
She can have a picture of my chaotic notebook.
A picture of your face doing this.
You could also send her a video of you reading it. That might work alternatively if she's up for that and you're up for that.
But that means I need to finish writing it. And this will mean that I will also have to actually write down your birthday poem about the orange, and then I can send it to you.
That's very exciting. I got a cork board when my parents moved out of my childhood house, and I've just had it put to the side recently.
Nice.
And I finally figured out a couple different places that I could put it. We ordered a bunch of art because our walls in all the rooms but our living space are really blank and it's sad. So we're gonna put that up in the corkboard, and I think I'm gonna put like stuff from friends that I've gotten mailed and postcards all over it because I keep them on the fridge for a while. But after a while, then I want to like change them out and need things I actually need to notice there. So I want more spots to put things like that. And it's gonna go there. I'm gonna put it somewhere else. See it all the time.
That sounds good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I got this one of like a little monster. It's very watercolory, sitting in some trees reading a book, and it's very cute. Put by my reading chair.
A reminder for all poetry writing humans, which I think is most of us here, that you should put them in the Storytime book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the arbitrary deadline for baby is a month and a half away.
What's the process of putting them in a Storytime book?
There is a Google Doc which is linked on the Storytime group, and you copy and paste it.
Oh, cool.
And then next year we're printing it and you can buy a copy.
Oh, wow. I had my first day back on Facebook today after my 2 month
Wow.
2 months absence, I think. Probably more, yeah.
I can get Frankie to put the link in the newsletter if you're on the mailing list.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Because I found it very overwhelming. It was like walking into a crowded room. It was really, really interesting. I think I'm going to come back off it pretty much instantly. It's interesting. Anyway.
So how many poems are there already in the book?
Not very many because everyone hasn't really put them in. But what we're doing is we're just trying to collect as many offerings as we can, and then we can do a bit of pruning afterwards when we're like, oh, we seem to have like 10 about dancing. Let's have a little section about dancing. So throw everything at it and then they might be pruned.
Do you want all of the poems I've written about people who are at Storytime to like,
if they're happy with that?
Yeah, okay, cool. I've asked the few that are already in there for sure, so I will definitely check with folks, because if you want to do a section about dancing, I really love the one that I wrote for Tara about microdancing. Turned out really good.
There's also going to be a Storytime recipe section if anyone has any particularly Storytime inspired recipes involving alcohol or Biscoff or chocolate or...
Well, you've got to get cinnamon buns in there, haven't you?
Probably, but will it be my recipe or Zach's recipe?
Oh, we could have both recipes.
And Kitty's vegan
Head to
recipe.
head. Yeah.
You could have a cinnamon bun section.
Do you want to write a poem about cinnamon buns, Em?
I'm gonna need to go get some really good cinnamon buns for
For inspiration, definitely.
Are any of them Biscoff buns?
No,
Not yet.
Could be done.
I could just buy Biscoff and buy sourdough cinnamon buns and then put them together. I might do that. Good call.
I don't know if you could actually use Biscoff as a filling for cinnamon buns because it wouldn't be like oozy enough.
You just need to modify it a bit.
You'd probably just use like the spices from it. Maybe.
I don't know.
I have to
I think
admit,
you could probably just
never-
add some butter and icing sugar and use Biscoff paste. Like it'd be fine.
How do you eat Biscoff, by the way?
With a spoon.
Just like out of the jar, because I've never tried it before.
Honestly, I really like it on digestives.
Okay.
Really
I
nice.
put,
Gathering
I put it on,
ideas.
I put it on OT biscuit. Same idea.
That's the way. Okay. Might try it for next story time.
But yeah, if you get what do you call them? Like bread waffles, not potato waffles. Bread waffles. It tastes nice on that too.
What's a bread waffle?
It's a sort that isn't made from potatoes.
Yeah, the other kind.
So a normal waffle.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ivan
I guess
posted a
it's-
recipe for making Biscoff cake in the microwave.
Mm.
Good night, everybody.
Oh,
I
night,
saw
Michael.
that.
Night, Maria.
Yeah.
So great to see you.
Actually,
Welcome
Lisa,
back.
Lovely to see you guys.
Lovely
Yeah,
to see you.
hopefully make it next week as well.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, see you again. Have a good
Cheers,
week.
guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Oh,
that
if
was
anyone
Lisa's
wants-
post for the buns. And I just tried it as well.
If anyone wants to host next week, it's European Microfantasia, so most of the people who usually host won't be available.
Hey,
I
what's
think
the theme?
Frankie is
Oh,
looking for someone to do it.
we could move mine on the 28th to next week.
I mean, if you want,
Because like the 28th is kind of not great for me anymore. So it would be nice to switch if someone else could take over that day.
talk to Frankie. She might do the 28th then.
Cool.
I should get a pass for that.
Yeah, get a pass. It's going to be awesome.
I haven't actually looked at what's happening.
There's self-massage with Kitty.
Yeah, that much I knew. That's pretty much why I'm getting a pass.
And there's a
Hazel's
really cool
teaching.
there's a really cool hip hop locking guy teaching who we had in Poland last year, and he's doing it again this year. He's so good, like insane level of isolation. It's really good.
You know I'm a huge geek for isolation. It's fun. Very well. Yeah, that's happening.
And then, is it? Yeah, pretty sure it's Polina is DJing, and Iris, as in French Iris, is DJing as well. Yeah.
I don't know Paulina, but I do know Iris. It's funny that I've been around enough that people just assume I know people sometimes, and it's really nice.
You know that person, yeah.
I wish I was around enough that I just knew everyone.
Yeah. I'm just checking the announcements.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh,
for coming and
theme
bringing
to be
your
decided.
poems.
Okay.
I'm going away.
Oh, thank you, Katie.
Thank you for hosting.
Lovely to see you.
That was lovely.